It's a very strong memorandum of understanding. That is a little conceptual, but it's something that's going to get done. And if it doesn't get done for any reason, which I can't imagine that not happening, they want to sign it as much as I do or more. I would say they want to sign it more, maybe a lot more.
In terms of the text, I can tell you that the text is mostly finalized. The problem is that the contradictions in America's position has caused turbulence to this process.
As Washington pushes for control of Iran's enriched uranium stockpile, Tehran has reportedly taken new steps that could make any effort to retrieve the material far more difficult and dangerous. According to a CNN report citing sources familiar with US intelligence, Iran has allegedly placed explosive mines around access points leading to key nuclear material storage sites. The stockpile reportedly includes roughly half a ton of near-bomb-grade uranium, much of it believed to be buried deep within fortified underground facilities. Intelligence assessments suggest Iran has significantly strengthened protections around the cache, potentially complicating any future effort to access, verify, or remove the material. CNN reports that Iran has recently expanded security measures around its highly enriched uranium stockpile amid growing scrutiny of its nuclear program. Sources familiar with US intelligence say Iranian authorities deliberately collapsed tunnels that previously provided access to portions of the nuclear stockpile. CNN, citing 5 sources familiar with US intelligence, reports that tunnel entrances have been booby-trapped with explosive mines to deter any attempted intrusion. The report says explosive devices were positioned around access routes to the cache, adding another layer of protection around the sensitive material. The measures were reportedly taken in recent weeks as Iranian officials grew concerned about the possibility of a US operation aimed at seizing the uranium. Officials believe the stockpile contains approximately half a ton of uranium enriched to levels close to weapons-grade purity. Experts and intelligence sources say recovering the material now would require extensive excavation and demining efforts, significantly increasing the risks involved. Most of the enriched uranium is believed to be located in underground tunnel networks at the Isfahan nuclear complex in central Iran. The developments come as President Donald Trump continues to describe securing Iran's enriched uranium as a central objective of ongoing negotiations. Washington is reportedly pursuing an agreement that would require Iran to hand over its enriched uranium stockpile as part of a broader diplomatic settlement. Under the reported framework, the uranium would be neutralized and ultimately removed from Iranian territory under international supervision. Trump has signaled that a US-Iran memorandum of understanding could be signed within days, according to reporting by Axios. Negotiators have reportedly reached a tentative text after conducting talks in Tehran, suggesting that the main political parameters of the memorandum of understanding are already agreed. The deal is expected to set up a framework to address Iran's stockpile of enriched uranium, focusing first on principles and mechanisms rather than detailed technical steps. US officials have indicated that downblending enriched uranium inside Iran remains one of the options on the table for managing that stockpile. Any concrete, technical steps on Iran's nuclear program are expected to require a follow-on, second agreement that would build on this initial framework. Under the draft deal, ceasefire is expected to be extended for 60 days, including in Lebanon. Strait of Hormuz to be opened immediately without tolls. US to lift its naval blockade in the Hormuz Strait. Framework on Iran's enriched uranium stockpile is expected to be discussed. Iran is expected to commit to never acquiring a nuclear weapon. Enriched uranium may be diluted inside Iran under UN supervision. Iran could get sanctions waivers on oil sales for 60 days. Reports say the current draft has been approved at high levels in Iran's leadership, but likely has not yet received final sign-off from Supreme Leader Mojtaba. Meanwhile, Trump has said he expects a signing ceremony to take place around June 13th to 14th, pointing to a very near-term political timeline. 4 C-17 transport planes reportedly left for Europe on June 11th to make travel arrangements for Vice President Vance and associated delegations. The American Vice President may travel to Geneva in the coming days for a signing ceremony, if the schedule and final approvals hold. Notably, Qatar and Pakistan jointly mediated the proposed accord, with their key facilitation role becoming clear on June 10th. If concluded, The Memorandum of Understanding is expected to be known as the Islamabad Agreement, underscoring Pakistan's central role as a host and mediator. Qatari mediator Ali Al-Thawadi is reported to have held extensive contacts with U.S. envoys throughout the talks, helping bridge gaps between Washington and Tehran. Trump on June 11 said he would like the United States to take control of Iran's main oil export hub, Kharg Island, openly floating the idea in an interview. Speaking to Fox News, Trump argued that capturing Kharg Island would be better than striking civilian infrastructure inside Iran, presenting it as a more focused military option. Kharg Island is the centerpiece of Iran's energy export network and a critical source of government revenue, handling the bulk of the country's offshore oil shipments. However, Trump acknowledged that any move to seize the island could face domestic opposition in the United States, given the risks and potential costs involved. He said he was unsure whether Americans currently have the appetite for a costly new military operation that could demand significant resources and time. Military analysts note that capturing and holding Kharg would require a large-scale ground deployment, going far beyond air or naval strikes alone. Such an operation could place thousands of U.S. troops in direct confrontation with Iranian forces on and around the island, sharply raising the risk of escalation. Meanwhile, Republican Senator Lindsey Graham strongly endorsed the idea of targeting Kharg, backing Trump's suggestion as a serious option. Graham said that gaining control of Kharg, either through outright force or via a sustained blockade, could fundamentally transform the course of the conflict with Iran. According to Graham, combining pressure on Kharg with maintaining security in the Strait of Hormuz would give the United States major leverage over Tehran's economy and strategy. He also warned that time was running short and urged rapid action if ongoing peace talks with Iran failed to produce results. Trump claimed that Iran was dying to make a deal and was under intense military pressure from recent U.S. actions. He argued that Tehran was already in a position of submission despite continuing resistance and counterstrikes from Iranian forces. However, Iran has maintained that it is ready to fight back against any U.S. ground troops that might move toward its territory or key assets. Iranian Parliament Speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf said Iran is waiting for the arrival of U.S. troops on the ground to set them on fire, issuing a stark warning against any invasion of Kharg or other areas. Iran spent months preparing for a potential U.S. attack on Kharg Island, according to CNN, a period of sustained fortification during which Tehran moved forces and material to strengthen the island's defenses against any imminent operation. Iran reinforced Kharg Island with additional troops, layered air defense systems, and mobile missile units, measures intended to deter or defeat amphibious or aerial assaults and to protect critical export infrastructure from damage. Anti-personnel and anti-armor mines were deployed along beaches where U.S. forces might attempt to land, a precaution designed to slow invading units, channel movement into kill zones, and raise the costs of any seaborne assault.